maybe just trash it before the stench permeates the house. And y'all live in this almost on a daily basis, right? Anyone who walks into that room will know something just isn't right. Know something just isn't right and identify the cause. You look around but don't examine every inch. Life is busy. You look later. Does it just go away? No, it stays hidden, and you're searching for something nearby and suddenly discover. Now, let's see.
Discover quite by coincidence the disgusting mess that is your soiled garden. Now that you're aware of it, you can take care of the mess, clean it up, and dispose of it, never to be seen or smelled again.
No. Back up. Okay. All right, let's just start again. Try to- okay. Make a note of where you're at. Okay. Anyone who walks into that room where there's itchy socks or whatever, sports gear, maybe you relate to that. Anyone who walks into that room will know something just isn't right, but can't identify the cause. You look around, but don't examine every inch. Life is busy. You look later. Does it just go away? No. It stays hidden until you're searching for something nearby and suddenly discover, quite by coincidence, the disgusting mess that is your soiled garment. Now that you're aware of it, keep that part. You can take care of this mess, clean it up, and dispose of it, never to be seen or smelled again. Okay? These are the next two paragraphs. Sins can be similar. It often happens that you stow away secret sin, forget about it, and neglect to repent or ask for forgiveness. Perhaps it's because you think that it's this little sin is inconsequential. God would not withhold any good thing from you on account of such a minor offense. It's time to get rid of the hidden, dirty laundry in your life. How do I know about these things? Because everyone, myself included, is faced with the challenge of finding and eliminating whatever is barring God's blessings from our lives. Hopefully you've drawn your own picture. We'll elaborate just a little bit. Because I've been talking about this. I want to shift the gears. This is not a totally different teaching. It's not out of line with others, because this is Joe, not away from Charles and Francis. But it's important to recognize what can be going on inside of you that may very well be a fact inside of me, anyone, causing the trouble that we feel in the natural. Spiritual things, we'll call them, because that's what the last two paragraphs are about, sin. There's sin that's out there, the other kingdom that is strong and alert and still around, hasn't given up. Those things that we harbor, unforgiveness, I'll go beyond what's stated in the book, because I know it's true, and I know Joan, and she elaborates some more, and I'm going to go into her personal details. You can buy the book and read it, but I don't want to give it to you. She had some horrific things happen to her. None of her fault. But the things that you and I can control, things that we're harboring, unforgiveness, guilt, anxiety, judgment, various things that we're doing to one another, and we're the recipient of that damage, not the other person. God talks a lot about forgiveness, doesn't he? How important it is. Well, unforgiveness is pushing it aside. That dirty sock gets under the bed. Think it'll go away. It'll quit stinking. No, it won't. Whether I've said here in this gathering or not, I talk a lot about buttons that can be pushed. Something that happened to you as a child, something that happened to you in the first marriage, something that happened yesterday. And you thought, I've come over that. That's gone. I won't talk to that person anymore. Or whatever. You know, I'm just being general. But somebody may come up to you within that same day or the next and say something. A couple of words come out of them that don't have anything to do with it, but it touches one of those buttons. One of those hurts. And you react. Been there? Got any t-shirts? Those are the things we need to guard against. We've got to protect the spirit that's within us. You're not going to damage the spirit. That's alive and well from the time you receive it. Amen. But this thing could lose connection to mind. You take these things in, you deal with them every day. And the more you rehearse them, what happens? Somebody tell me. Just keep you awake. I know you're still full of turkey.
Keeps it alive.
If you rehearse it, it keeps it alive. Anybody else? What else? All these negative things. It magnifies it. That's a significant word. Keeps it alive, but it magnifies it. Doesn't stay the same size. That stinking sock's going to get worse. Hear me? The fragrance is not going to go away with one spray of atomizer. You know, it's something that's dying. I might as well say that. If you allow some of this stuff into you, it's going to contribute to your spiritual death. Don't want to think about that. But it's true. If we don't keep what's inside alive and fertile and fed properly, but when we take things in, when we see things, we hear things, we ingest that. What's the Bible say? Take all thoughts into captivity. This is a phrase I'm going to use a lot because it has such a meaning. Take all thoughts into captivity. Don't allow that stuff in. Take your eyes off what you just glanced at on television or clicking by. Just cast it out. You have to take authority over it. If you don't, it will infest, magnify. It will stay with you. Am I making a good point? I think we've all walked down this path. And you might think that you got by with it. Trust me, you're not. You've got to deal with it. You've got to deal with it. You've got to get it out. You've got to give it to God. You've got to place it somewhere to get it out of you. Now, who will take it? Who will take it? Jesus. You can put it back to the foot of the cross. Bring over the back on the cross. He already did. His shed blood ended up at the bottom of the cross. That's still alive and well today. Amen? It's a star now as it was 2,000 years ago. Jesus will take it. But you've got to be willing to give it away. Recognize it, and then give it away. Get rid of it. Deal with it. My mentor out in Denver, Colorado, Marilyn Hickey, wrote a book some years ago, still in print. Go to a Bible store, I'm sure you can find it. Hurts, habits, and hang-ups. Hurts, habits, and hang-ups. won't give you a half hour to write down a list of how many of those might apply to you. But I pretty well guarantee you they apply to all of us. We've accepted a hurt from somewhere, and we're still carrying it, maybe. Ready to get a mistake? Depending on how long you've had it. It really is a festered sore inside of you. It can be causing a lot of things within your physiology not to work right. You have that entity within you. Habits. We all create those of which aren't necessarily good for us. I have a wife that tells me about mine. You know, and she's got some too. But you know what we talk about? That's healthy. And it allows us to grow and move on. Don't feel like you're stuck. Well, that's just who I am. Quit saying, quit thinking. Quit saying, this is what's weird. You're convincing yourself that you're all right. There's nothing wrong with you. It's about everybody else. You're lying to yourself. Hang-ups. Look at all that hang-ups. Limitations. We've started something in some cases. Now we're obligated to it. I'll get some time in between here for me, sister. Let you figure this out for yourself, pick up your own sermon. Because I'm doing a little preaching time through these speeches. I think it's good for you. And I hope it's good for you. I enjoy this putting it together. First, having some hang-ups. Buying into it, they're going to hurt you. Driving around your little wagon behind you. You can go to the altar, you can give your life back to the Lord, you begin to pray more later. If you're still carrying that little wagon behind you, you haven't escaped. You haven't gotten over it, you haven't gotten above it. There's a popular term out there that sounds good to me. When you get into anything, you need to rise above it and look down and see what it really looks like. You know, a little bit of imagery. But you need to understand there's another kingdom out there, folks. Other than this one we're setting here, this kingdom is representing Almighty God. Christian, good teaching, good people. There's a kingdom out there that has a leader that wants to steal, kill, and destroy you. Yeah. And he doesn't sleep either. But we have authority over him. I was reminded this week, shouldn't have to have been done, but you know, we've all done it at some point, or we've listened to it. You don't need to be calling Satan any of his names. I know what he's about. So do you. God wants you to still be respectful. Call him Satan. He has a name. Instead of Slewfoot or whatever else. Does that make sense? You may have said it to teachers. They said it to this one. You don't understand me. Don't get on one thing. But I appreciate you still respect me and call me pastor or Mr. or Richard is my name. Why? He's a nasty individual. Yeah, we know that. But you're doing damage to yourself when you allow yourself to judge and to condemn. God doesn't want you to do that. You won't find it in the Bible. It's all right on Saturday, and it's raining, and somebody cuts you off. No. Don't try to qualify it. It's not right. Not just. I'll put you in line. You got a grip on it, right? We have responsibility. We really do. There's a book written which my wife and I digested a couple of times. I had opportunity to go to a seminar organized by the gentleman that wrote this book. He wasn't particularly there, but they had DVDs of him, and he had one of his representatives there to teach us. Henry Wright. Anybody familiar with the term, the name Henry Wright? not, but he's been doing business for a long time as well. He's a doctor, got a medical background. He's a pastor, minister, teacher, author. Written a book called A More Excellent Way. A More Excellent Way. Do that. Henry W. Wright. You can go on Google, however you do it, find it out. It'd be worthwhile investment for you. And I'm going to just tell you a little bit about it. I'm going to teach it because I haven't got this permission to do this. But he talks about what's on the inside. Medically and spiritually, what damage it does to us. If we can deal with what's on the inside, we can deal with the rest of it. And he comes at it very forcefully. He's got a little book. He's got a big one. It's about yay big. It's More Excellent Way. But he's got another one called Separation. And it's only like maybe $5.95 used on Amazon or wherever you can find new or used. Maybe $9 or $10 brand new. It's a little black book, and it's got separation right on the front of it. Can't miss it. And it talks about that two different kingdoms. You've got to keep them separated and understand both of them. We desperately run into this house all week long, every week. How many more meetings we come to learn about this kingdom? We need to know about the other one. And to realize how sneaky he is. All right? We know the statement that I already mentioned about he came to steal, kill, and destroy, but you don't know how. He doesn't come at you with a sword. He doesn't chase you down the street. He only plants things up here. And he takes what you do wrong and he magnifies it. Good word, baby. I'm going to call you magnifier. He takes what you do wrong, what you say wrong, what you think. And magnifies it. Pretty soon it's real important that it becomes, this is who I am. This is who you am. No, you're subject to change. You're subject to improvement. What I'm looking at, what you're looking at tonight is subject to improvement.
Thank you, Jesus.
Going to a higher ground. If you're content where you're at, you're not going to be just stable. You're going to back up. If you're not moving forward, you're backing up. Trust me. I played that game. Thought I had it won. Still didn't have all the rules. And I lost. Okay? Watch your mouth. Watch your eyes, your ears. Wash them. Put filters on them. I don't care what you got to do. You're the only one that knows what to do. How to get rid of the junk in the truck. As long as we carry it around, it's going to stink. It's going to keep rotting. These are things I think are very important. God wants us to be healed more than we do. Not his intention to be sick. He created this thing you're looking at and you walking around in up here to be healed, to be saved, to be vital. Why? Because he needs us. Didn't I say that to start with? And if I say Jesus and don't say God and the Holy Spirit, you got to know I'm talking about the Trinity. They all desire that we be healed. Got them acquainted with it. It's what I'm trying to do here in the limited time we have in 8 weeks. Because I can go a whole lot deeper. Trying to equip you. Get you acquainted with this kingdom with the other ones well. To know if you miss a step, if you go into a hurt habit or hang up, you start talking, you start judging, you start letting yourself get angry, you start letting yourself get stressed out. How many, I won't ask you to raise your hands. How many of you allow the little things to stress you out? Ooh. Little things. Little whys are called. Just little aggravations. Little lip hurts. It doesn't have to be a woman. Woman, boy, I could. You know, if you want to go back, and Marilyn, I told you this before, Marilyn would talk about things. Marilyn Higgins, she said, you just want to slap them sideways. Well, you do. But it can be a little thing. Husbands and wives. You know? You may ride however far it is, 35, 40 miles to church on Sunday. But that last mile could be hell. I don't have to ask anymore. You know what I'm saying? Some little thing. You cut that person off. You didn't allow that person to walk across in front of you. You were going too fast in that curve. I've heard all this stuff. But if it's not dealt with right, it becomes a wound. Then there's retaliation, there's stress, there's strife, there's anxiety just comes out of you when you open your mouth. What's the old rule? I think all of us probably got it in school somewhere, or in the parents before they took us to school. Count to 10 before you say anything. Still has great value, ladies and gentlemen. I still practice it every once in a while. Count to 10. What you allow in here and here, if it comes right out your mouth, it's a mistake. It's probably not coming out right. And then you got to try to get it back if you're interested. I think of the amount of times that I've judged with my sight. By just hearing what they said, I thought was wrong. Judge the whole person. I'm still dealing with those things, trying to get them out of me so I can become a better person. I should have it all right. I just wanted you to know some of those things tonight. You won't find it written just like that, you know, under his books, other than what I read to you. But consider it. Those of you who are raising up children, it's never too soon to start doing the right thing. I walk through Walmart quite a bit, okay? Not my favorite place because of the crowds. But I hear a lot of things in Walmart that I don't want to do. I see a lot of things I don't want to see. It can be just between husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. The things I really get upset about, allow myself to get anxious, is what are said and done to the kids and what aren't. There was one in Walmart the other day, screamed all the way through the whole time I was in there. Screamed. Didn't cuss. I never heard a cuss word, but he condemned his mother, hated her, screamed. He was about yay high. Sitting in the basket. But he was angry. She said, now you stop that. I know where mine would have been if it been doing that. We'd have to call her out behind the shed somewhere. Right's right, wrong's wrong. You cannot raise up a child and expect them to go in the right way if you raise them up right. If you just allow them to grow up. Sorry. That generation is not going to be much help to the rest of the world because they've been allowed to just do whatever. I'm going back to preaching again, I'm sorry. But some of the things that we don't deal enough with. Got enough notes? Got any questions? I want that to stick. My intention tonight is to talk about some of the other methods of healing and describe them, not just note them so you can write them out. Healing by proxy is a very valuable tool in what you're learning. Yours truly uses this sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Other times you may go a couple, 3 weeks without it. But I do a lot of my ministry over the phone. I do a lot of ministry through somebody comes and says, I have a relation, a friend. Here, or I don't care where. But if you got a person that says, you know that person, and they'll say, and put them in proxy. Everybody stand firm? How to do that? It's literally that. You just start calling that other person's name. When we started out in Denver years ago with the healing room and the healing classes, there was a need come up over in Russia, whether I've already mentioned it or not. The person was devastated, thrown in prison, etc. Sister was in her class in Denver, Colorado. We put her in proxy, we prayed. Now, the time difference, etc., communication possibilities, it was the next week or so before she heard back. I asked her what happened then. She said, well, something happened because the person was back out of jail, out of prison, exonerated. They beat him up so bad when they put him in there, they broke his leg was healed. God is not limited. Say it. God is not limited. I mean, it looks, maybe here in teaching, that you have to stand here and lay hands on him, and you have to do all the things I'm teaching. Yeah, that's one method. And it works, and it's good for others to see. That's the reason Jesus did. He didn't make sure everybody was saved before he laid hands on them, right?
That's right.
He could care less. That was not the point. He got him healed. He had a new vessel. And he says, now, let me teach you. We need to look at these other avenues. We can do this by proxy. And it's very easy. It's very effectual. And what I always do, what I've been taught, and I know works, is when you do that, if you want to say, okay, it's or whatever here, you check with that person at that time and ask them what happened. What did they feel? Did the pain go? Whatever. It keeps them active in it. It keeps them involved in it. They don't just say, well, they prayed, they're going home. They'll find out. Find out. Find out. I had a thought on my mind before we started here, and I didn't get there. I was going to ask you, how many are tired of turkey? Have you eaten all the leftovers? Huh? You're kind of tired. Pork ham or whatever, it didn't take much. So who all got deer? Anybody get a deer on that? Oh, I got the deer. Anybody else? I thought those probably the two top topics for this time. Of the week. Praise God. I know her. She's 12 or 14 years old. A girl, a granddaughter of a lady we do Bible study with over in Titusville, got her first deer, one shot, 10 points. You heard it? Did you hear the story? Well, they got pictures. Ruth Watson. Yeah, her granddaughter. Julie? One shot. One shot. Now, the reason it prompted me is because she shot and it didn't stop. It walked by the tree house, whatever you call those things. I'm not a hunter. You can tell real quick. Tree house. Tree house. Right. Walked by, boom, shot it. One shot and kept going. And she got upset. She said, Grandma, it's going to run off. She said, no. Let's get down. Got to get down out here and go. We got to follow. Got to follow. Well, sure enough, it didn't go just a few steps over there. I guess in some shrubbery, whatever, lay down, passed away. And the shot, the picture I've got on my phone. So the picture in my phone that shows her with that the head laying in her lap, and she's good grin as big as a lion. But you have to pursue things to make sure they happen. That makes sense. That's the point here. That's what Grandma taught us. Don't you forget. Don't ditch shoot. And these those two got down. Go find them. Now sometimes they run far enough away. I understand you can't find them, but I hit one time in a car. A 68-year-old, and it became more than nobody else ever found it. It sure did damage my car. Looked like I hit a telephone pole. Honest to God. That's what the insurance company told me. You ran into a telephone pole. All right. Point is follow up with the proxy. But don't hesitate to do that. Just tell me, yeah, we can pray. So, would you pray for it? Sure. We want to put you in proxy. Make believe that you're so-and-so. And just do it like they're standing for God. There is no time, there's no distance in God's world. He is time. So we're not a time. Right? He is time. And he's got things all figured out. He knows the beginning from the end. All I have to tell you is it's bragging, but excuse me. Can I apologize for it? Sure. It's not about me. My wife and I had occasion to know a circumstance years ago that, and I don't remember the total setup, but a person prayed for a hunter that was going hunting for deer, prayed for them, said, well, tell God what you want. Is it a doe? If it's doe season, if it's a buck, how big a buck? Tell him. Tell God what you want. Pray for it. Ask Him to bring the deer to you. All right? Now, that sounds way out there. To you hunters, may or may not. I don't know the difference because I don't know. My wife talked to Julie. Is it Julia? Julia. Talked to Julie on Sunday. Julie, because she'd been there in Erica's class. Barbara says, I don't know where your faith is, but she said, I want you to pray something before you go hunting. And she told her to ask for 10.5 that would come to her. It's on my cell phone. I'm going to take time to get it. But it says that Ruth sent me a picture and it said, this is Julia's bucket that God brought to her. Now, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. There was 9, what I call, or they call, full points, and there was 1 point that was just getting started. That stands for 10, right? 10.5. Is God a good God? Yes. He brought that deer right to him. She shot it, threw it over there, and laid in. No contest. Julie, I don't think we'll ever forget that. These things I'm telling you for those purposes. When you experience something like it, when you experience the hearing, how many are still feeling what you felt back there 2 weeks ago? You laid hands on each other. How's it feel? He was talking bad about his knee Thursday at work. Really ugly. I mean, here, Scotland, right? How many else? Anybody else got testimony? Yes. Back spasms for 10 years? No. 2 years. I'm sorry. I like that. 2 years, that's fine. 10 minutes is a long time. Back spasms hasn't been any since. Anybody else? Yes.
We were praying for growing out our legs and, balance in our back and this and that. And I had the testimony about my neck and all these different things. While my knees, I didn't realize how much they were bothering me until they're not. And all of a sudden, it's no big deal to get down with your kids, whatever. I mean, this is a big deal. And I had an opportunity to pray for my dad. He's having the same problem. I didn't. So next time I see him, I'm praying. let me the opportunity to go.
Amen. Amen. Anybody else? Big point to make there is how many times do we just put up with something? You didn't say that. I'm telling a story that's probably true, right? You're just putting up with it. May not want to go to the doctor, it's not that bad. If it hurts, ladies and gentlemen, it hurts. You do not have to put up with that. God has a way to set you free. There's pain gone from his knee, pain gone from yours, whatever other might have happened. Yes, when you lay hands on someone, the power goes in. The Holy Spirit's doing the work. It's not the individual that you're looking at. That power goes in to fix a lot of things. Some of what you forgot about, some you didn't know was ailing until you weren't there. You thought, I feel better. I wonder how that happened. But it's important to make the effort. What have you got to lose? You go to the doctor and pay a copay, you pay a deductible, you get a jug of medicine to take, and it doesn't go away. I'm not criticizing doctors, I'll give you an illustration, okay? It's in the email. But the point is, that can happen. You can spend a lot of money. The woman in the issue of blood, let's come back to her again. Spend all her money to many doctors. Touch the hem of Jesus' garment. Touch the hem. What healed her? Her faith. What? Her faith. Everybody say it. Her faith. When was she healed? Who said it? When she said something about the house. When she left the house. When she left the house. Manifestation of it was when she touched the garment. She was healed when she left the house. You know why? Because back in that day, she could have been thrown in jail. She could have been stoned. She was dirty. She was unclean. Right? The Bible say that? She shouldn't even be allowed out on the street. But she told herself, if I can just touch the hem of Jesus' garment, hearing that he was coming by, that's all she had. He was coming by. And she left her house. What else did she do? She pressed through the crowd. She pressed in. Amen. Yes, she pressed in. She pressed through the crowd. To the point when the disciples heard Jesus say, my power has left me. In my words, he said, Jesus, there's a crowd right there who's touching you. What do you mean? He said, I know one person touched me, it took my power, my healing power. She pressed it. So she was healed when she left the house. She had the manifestation when she reached it. Now that's powerful faith. You know, we have availability to that ourselves every day, for yourself, for your husband, your wife, a friend of yours, anybody in pain. Can I pray for you? You have an opportunity by your faith and to build their faith. Don't have to carry your Bible with you, beat them over the head. Read it 40 scriptures. No, give them love. What's the greatest thing in the Bible? Love. Give them love. Show them compassion. How many people do you walk by on the sidewalk that gives you compassion? You said nobody, but you didn't say that. I just... People are too busy today to take care of your pain or to ask if somebody else is hurting, if they can help them, right? We're too dadgum busy. We got too many things to do, places, people to see and places to go, right? We give ourselves that excuse. If they're there tomorrow on that same street corner, I'll take time then. I'll write my new schedule tonight. No. You hear about somebody in pain, you take advantage of it as best you can. At least ask. You got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Proxy. Anybody got any questions? It's easy, it's workable, it's the same as you were doing right back here last week. No difference. You're just laying hands on them, praying for their need, ask them a few questions. Don't assume. Don't assume. Because they got a Band-Aid on their finger that's what they want to heal. No, they have a real deep hurt somewhere. Ask. Be compassionate about it. Don't say, oh, what happened to my sister? She got over it. Don't give any of your past experiences. Deal with that person. Show them love. God's love. Show it to them. It's tangible. It's tangible. Right? Those of you that walk in it, those of you that share it, you work hard at it every day in your personal family relationships. Show that same degree of love to somebody else that's hurting. Make their day. Make their day. I want to talk about healing with prayer cloths. Healing cloths, I'd rather call them. Pastor Robert, Megan, you've probably heard of some of these over at the church in County Lake already, but we've had significant healings in prayer cloths. And I'm going to read part of this out of the book here, but I brought some with me tonight. So I guess it's an appropriate time to just hand out some of those, and I'll explain them to you so you've got your hands on them when I'm telling you about them. These have been properly prepared. One of the staff members of the church, the pastors have prayed over these. We keep a big basket in front of the church that's accessible to the whole church congregation. Many times somebody will walk up that's already used what they had, during worship or whatever, grab another handful. Just give each one several. There's plenty to go around. Now, scripturally, this comes out of Acts, 19? Acts 19, verses 11 through 12. That scripture tells us that God wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, right? We know that. So that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the disease departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them. These were garments of palms. So there was a tangibility to that product. They had been on Paul as an apron, as a whatever, okay? These have not been on anybody, but they haven't got anointing oil on them either. They've just been prayed over. Spiritual anointing are on these, okay? All right. Now I'm going to keep them up here. You don't want more every while that we make. I'm going to tell you a story about it. Keep one for here for me. Healing cloths. This again is something you can present to someone in person, tell them what to do with it, or you can send it. I'm going to tell you a story about that, but you can send it. Is this a proper time of the year to be sending things to people?
Yes.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, right? I hope you start getting excited about this as I tell the rest of the story. I want you all excited. Okay? What's the product that you give turkeys? Tryptophan? I'm trying to overact on that, so none of you go to sleep. Okay? That tryptophan can put you out, right? But you should be over it by now, unless you have still have left. Okay. One of the most exciting incidents started when we received a letter from a grandmother in Failsworth, England. This normally tells it. This is by Francis Hunter. She had heard about our healing ministry and wrote us a letter. In it, she told us about her grandbaby who had been born with a congenital hip defect. There weren't any hips. Plus a huge water head. I don't know how many we hear about these days. It used to be quite an issue, and didn't live very long with water head. Anyway, a waterhead baby, rarely lives very long because that is a very serious malformation of the body, strictly from the devil, and certainly not given by God. Grandmother says, if you can't come to England, she wrote, would you please and send me a little prayer cloth? Now, this is not unlike the lady with the issue of blood. Grandma had what? Faith. What? Faith. Grandma had faith in the hunters, in God. What else? In a prayer cloth. Right? See how faith works? You need to identify that. When you're working by faith, that's powerful. England is a long way from Houston, Texas. Agreed? So we and our entire staff laid hands on a little piece of cloth. We asked God to let His healing power go into it along with it so that when it was laid on the baby, resurrection power would go from the cloth and into the baby's body, and the baby would be totally healed by the power of God. That's what's been prayed over these. Okay? What we did. That healing power will go with it, wherever it goes. We believe in supernatural faith as we pray over that little piece of cloth and send it to its on its divine road. The baby was asleep when it arrived. Grandma was taking care of it, babysitting that day when the letter arrived. That neat. The baby was asleep when it arrived, so the grandmother took the little piece of cloth, rolled it up, and stuck it inside the baby's hand. That was her point of contact. Grandma wrote and told us that the very second that little prayer cloth touched the inside of the baby's fist, the waterhead instantly reduced to normal size. I've read this 100 times and I still get chills. The waterhead went down when that cloth was put in that baby's hand. This will tell it here, but let me just give you a description. Houston, Texas to England is a long ways. There was a note in that letter, in that envelope, in that cloth. And it didn't ask for a donation. Okay. Hunter never did that. We still don't. Think about how many hands that went through from the time that Hunter has put it in the mail and time it got to England. Probably 2 or 3 days to get it there. I don't know for sure. But how many machines it went through, how many hands carried it, how many trucks it was on, getting parts going. Didn't destroy the equipment. Power was still there. One little prayer cloth. That's all she asked for, one little prayer cloth. 2 weeks later, they took this child back to the clinic where it had been previously treated. When the doctor x-rayed the baby's hips, he found 2 perfect hip sockets. The child had been born without any hip sockets at all, and now it has 2. The grandmother related that to the doctor at the clinic. The doctor at the clinic said, "This is not the same baby we have been treating." The medical records show that this child has no hip sockets. The medical records show that the child has a waterhead. What did you bring this one for? He thought it was a totally different breed. This one has no waterhead and 2 hip sockets. Hallelujah. Did God get the mileage out of this? Don't you know that whole town over there heard about this? Totally healed by the power of God. Prayer claws can also be used for other things besides healing. While I was teaching about prayer claws at the City of Light School of Ministry, one of our students stood and asked to share her testimony. 3 years ago, you gave me a prayer cloth. You told me to go home, put the prayer cloth under my husband's pillow, and believe that he would be saved before the end of the year. I put the prayer cloth under my husband's pillow in January. He was saved in November the same year. The story goes on. This little cloth. There's a gentleman in our church over in Connie Lake that's got one sewn in his waistband of his trousers back here. He hurt his back doing some laborious work. So it's just on the fall, straightened his back. And he prayed over it, it got better, but he wanted to make sure it stayed that way. He had his prayer cloths, and he had his wife sew one back there. Faith? Okay. You see the size of this. Most of these are about the same size. They're not cut off the machine to be exact, because an individual did it for me over there at the church, still did. That's powerful. I already told you that. It could go to England and accomplish its work. Okay? You can't diffuse it. It's powerful. You can cut that up into